have abandoned you. What love they once gave is now gone. The sea gives only water. The woods give only wind. The earth gives only dust. Even the midday sky gives only twilight. And with their shepherds gone, the sheep fall prey to wolves. Without the gifts of Olympus, you are lost to the darkness.
Well, that was all a wee bit grim, but I tell you what, this game is anything but. I've Papated here with my review and thoughts on Apotheon, which is a new indie game which is free with PSN, I think last month. Now, this is a side-scrolling action game with some RPG elements, and it kind of, in my eyes anyway, it kind of came out of nowhere. I downloaded it because it was on PSN and just tried it for the first time today, and I played an hour or two, and it is really, really quite good. The art style, as you can see, is kind of like, I'm not sure if it's hieroglyphs you want to say, or sort of a Greek style of art, and it's almost like it's drawn on paper or printed on paper. When you see the black, darker bits, you can see almost like an aged paper effect, and it just looks stunning. Because it's also fairly simple graphically, it runs very smoothly, never any slowdown, some great particle effects, and some great combat. The combat is, you might think for a 2D sort of platformer, you'd be forgiven for thinking it'd be very, very simple, but it's actually got quite a lot of depth. Every weapon that you pick up feels different and has a different attack speed and does different damage. You can also throw any weapon you pick up to add a little layer of extra depth. You also can roll to avoid damage, and you can block when you find a shield. There's almost a to and fro to the combat, not unlike Dark Souls or unlike a 1v1 fighting game. You have to think, if an enemy is coming to attack you, do you roll, do you put up your shield, and then you counter attack? If you just go in, stab, 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 and with no shield up, or not thinking about avoiding, then eventually you will die. You might get away with that with the first few folk, but some of the enemies will throw spears and shoot arrows at you from afar while the other ones come in. And it was actually a lot less simple than I thought it was going to be, but that's for the better, definitely. The game world is almost like a Metroid or Castlevania. You can go up, down, and left to right, and there's a map which you unlock as you explore it. So you'll be given objectives, usually several at once. Here I'm rescuing a blacksmith. Later on you rescue a hunter or rescue some townsfolk, and then you'll fight a boss at the end, which is in a temple. And it just had a great feel to the game. There was a great flow, enough RPG elements. Here I'm upgrading my armor and exploration, but there was always combat just around the corner, and the combat was exciting, and I really did feel as though, it's quite visceral, the combat. Quite a sense of impact when you're stabbing these enemies or hitting them, and when they hit your shield, you really feel it vibrate and shudder as the impact of their axe comes down on your shield, and eventually your shield will break if you take too many hits. So you're quite often changing weapons, changing shields, and changing armor, which keeps things fresh. There's an example of the map there. As you can see, that's just in one building though, and that's an example of the overarching map, which changes. So the premise is actually Zeus, or is it Aphrodite, is Zeus's wife, has decided that Zeus has been getting away with um, things, basically allowing your human Earth to be attacked and basically come under attack, and he's not helping, and he's not doing all these great things like he said he would. And she actually wants you to take him down and make the gods pay. As far as I'm aware, that's where I got to so far. And you know, so there's a bit of story there, a bit of meaning to it. You are a lowly, well, not peasant, or are you a peasant? But you become a warrior pretty fast if you are a peasant. You know, your guy's pretty proficient with a spear and a sword, and you're getting attacked by these soldiers, and you make your way to the tyrant, which is the leader, and you fight him in the temple. And then you head up to Mount Olympus, which is the area I'm at next, and Mount Olympus seems to be where you'll maybe need to take out different gods, I don't know. But I'm going to be heading on to that next, and really looking forward to that. So, Apotheon, pick it up if you like indie games, if you like Castlevania or Metroid style games. It might surprise you. It looks fantastic. The music's also very good. The gameplay so far is very good, and I'm thoroughly surprised and thoroughly impressed as well. So that was my review on Apotheon. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks very much for watching, guys. See you in the next one.